final countdown. This is where it gets fun. This is where I come alive.
We're just ready to show up, and Jake's in good shape. His mind is very locked in and focused for this. So, we're all looking forward to this. So
Jake Paul is deep into an intense heavyweight camp in Miami as he prepares for his December 19 clash with Anthony Joshua. He's working with top-tier sparring partners who replicate Joshua's power and size, while elite coaches fine-tune his game. His program also includes specialized therapists and advanced training equipment to elevate strength, speed, and tactical accuracy. Every session focuses on sharpening technique, pushing endurance, and building mental sharpness, ensuring Paul stays fully focused and ready for the toughest test of his career.
Time to shock the world, baby. Time to shock the world again. You motherfucking sauce.
Jake Paul's camp for his showdown with Anthony Joshua shows a level of dedication most people never truly see. His coach notes that the sacrifices behind the scenes often go unnoticed. Long gym hours, tough conditioning, and careful technical work that fans rarely witness. He stresses that many underestimate the preparation needed to face a fighter of Joshua's caliber. Jake trains through constant physical fatigue and mental pressure, yet pushes himself with unwavering focus, proving a commitment goes far beyond hype or spectacle.
Realize how much is sacrificed in the camp, and Jake sacrificed a lot to get ready for the last fight on top of releasing the new brand W. And so he needed a break. And so we took a month off, got right back in there, and now we're getting ready for Mike. And we're not as heavy as we were before, which is a plus for us. I didn't want us to go back up, but you can guarantee he's going to be ready to fight. I think in the last 6 weeks, you've seen Jake slowly tighten himself up and get himself prepared, and he's really locked in now. So what we've been able to see is Jake evolve into the gladiator. He's slowly evolving into the gladiator that he has become for fight night. About time he finishes the camp and goes through everything he needs to go through, by that night, he'll be fully prepared. His outer shell that he needs to be able to go in there and be the gladiator for the night, he'll have that ready. And that's what you see happening now. That's the process in which we're in now.
Every part of Jake Paul's training is built around one objective: defeating the former champion Anthony Joshua. Analysts point out that his mental preparation is just as crucial as the physical work. He visualizes key moments, prepares for potential obstacles, and designs each session to build confidence while fixing weaknesses. This mental conditioning keeps him calm under pressure and ready to execute plans without hesitation when it matters most. His psychological growth across past fights shows a maturity that goes far beyond the image of a social media star entering boxing.
Built for this. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the moment. When it's over, I'm going to be missing these moments.
145. Let's go, buddy. Stay in. Come on.
Sparring partners are central to Jake Paul's preparation. Those inside his camp say he regularly tests himself against seasoned fighters, often beating them and sending them home, showcasing his growing skill and drive. With his focus now on facing Anthony Joshua, his training finally mirrors the size and power he'll encounter in the ring. Sparring partners note that this is exactly what Jake wants: opponents who push him to the edge, forcing him to adjust and sharpen his approach. These sessions let him rehearse reactions under pressure, tighten his defense, and develop offensive combinations that could be decisive against a heavyweight of Joshua's level.
Your training with Jake Paul, when that was, how much sparring you did with him.
So training with Jake Paul, I got to understand how he was as a fighter. He was new into the boxing. He was developing at a very quick rate. This guy trained his ass off. Like, we would spar twice a week in the hot-ass gym in Puerto Rico. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Dude, when I tell you Jake was beating up all these professional boxers who was sparring them, it was just one of those, like, bro, he was whooping their ass and sending them home. That same night, he told everybody bluntly, I'm sending you, and home. Only person saying he's this guy, Anthony. And he was like, the reason why, because this motherfucker's coming here and giving me work that I need. None of y'all is giving me the work y'all need.
Respected trainer Tony Jeff describes Jake Paul's camp as operating at an intensity rarely seen, resembling the preparation of Olympic-level athletes Rather than a typical boxing regimen, Paul utilizes advanced equipment, specialized conditioning, and individualized coaching that targets every element of performance. The program builds not only strength, but also speed, endurance, and technical precision, forming a complete framework for elite boxing readiness. Jeff explains that this approach helps Jake adapt quickly to new challenges and gain an early edge in the ring. Unlike traditional camps that emphasize just one area, this system ensures he's fully rounded for the complex demands of facing Anthony Joshua. The camp's intensity and sophistication highlight Paul's determination to compete at the highest level.
Great strength training for explosive power, slamming that ball against the wall and rotating, just like you'd be throwing a hook. You see there, he's caught it, he's pulled it back, turning into it, boom. We also see he's getting in the ice bath here. Now, ice baths is not just good for recovery, helping with the inflammation in your body after what you've been putting it through, but it's also good for the mental side of things. Because when you go in an ice bath, everything in your mind is saying, get out of here, what are you doing? So you've got to get past that part of your mind that's telling you that and push through it. So it's great for your mindset as well. Now, one more thing I just want to add with Jake Paul's training before I give you a recap on it. We always see him training. Look, he's got like a group of people around him. There's cameramen there, there's coaches there, all spurring him on. Now, boxing is normally a very lonely sport. When you're in the gym, it's normally you and your coach. Unless you're dealing with a group of people, it's harder for you to get the one-on-one attention that you need. So when you're fighting as a pro, when I was fighting as a pro, it was often just me and my coach. Sometimes there will be another guy in there as well. Sometimes my dad would come, which really helped push me through the session. But when my friends did ever come, maybe one session here and there, that spurred me on even more to get the most out of us. As we see here, he's got people around him all the time. Cameramen, coaches, friends, strength and conditioning coaches, his boxing coach, and he's just his full team around him who's getting paid. What that does is help the fighter, in this case Jake, get more out of the sessions rather than being there by himself, which I think is great. When I was training for the Olympics, we had that sort of support around us and it was amazing. But when I turned pro, that went out the window because you've got to pay for that support. So now my final thoughts on Jake Paul's boxing training. There isn't anything I can pull apart here. Everything he's doing.
Veteran analyst Dan Raphael notes major improvement in Jake Paul since his bout with Tommy Fury, pointing to sharper technique, better stamina, and stronger tactical awareness. He explains that Paul now shows a deeper understanding of ring dynamics. Still, Raphael warns that the challenge posed by Anthony Joshua remains immense. Jake has clearly evolved, but the upcoming fight will reveal whether he can apply those lessons under extreme pressure. This balanced perspective highlights both optimism and realism. Paul is progressing, yet defeating a former unified champion demands flawless execution and smart strategy. It's a reminder that growth in boxing is ongoing, especially heading into a matchup with historical weight. Meanwhile, Wade Plemons offers a critical view of Paul's mindset, cautioning against slipping into overconfidence. While self-belief is vital, he warns that it can cross into denial if a fighter ignores the reality of an opponent's experience and power. Entering the ring with misplaced confidence, he stresses, can be dangerous, making honest preparation and mental clarity just as important as skill.
Well, but he's actively like, yes, I am going to knock out AJ. And in any other timeline, we'd all point and laugh. And some people still are pointing and laughing, but I'm just sitting here going, what has he seen that makes him believe that? Not only of what's happened to AJ, sure, he's been knocked out by Daniel Dubois, another 240-pound champion of the world, but what has he seen in himself that makes him think he's going to knock out AJ when he hasn't knocked out anyone since Mike Perry? And Mike Perry, as we know, is not a high-level boxer. He hasn't knocked out a high-level boxer. He could hurt Julio Cesar Chavez, but Chavez knew to cover up and not engage. Maybe he thinks AJ will engage with him, and AJ does do some bad things in the pocket. Again, we'll save it for another video, but the only thing I can think of, and I said it at the beginning of this video, is Jake is absolutely delusional, and he's convinced himself of what's going to happen based on very outlying data, right? The Daniel Dubois knockout, how he struggled with Usyk.
Hey, who are you fighting when and why? I'm fighting Anthony Joshua because I'm fucking him.
What? I'm fighting Anthony Joshua because I'm him.
Holy shit, just let me take a second.
Is this motherfucker out of Dude, it's light work. Light work. Well, at least my good old friend Tyson Fury believes that I can win.
If Jake Paul fights Anthony Joshua, I'm putting £1 million on Jake Paul. I want some free money.
Smart man, Tyson.
I need to see a bet slip, Tyson. I know you got it like that these days. A million's like a, you know, like a slight 10,000 to the rest of us, but or maybe 1,000 after those couple of title fights with Alexander Usyk. But I need to see the bet slip. I saw the line when, and this is kind of crazy. I saw the line when the fight first got made, and we put it in the video. Jake was plus 800 to win. Jake has now moved to plus 650 to win. That's outright. I don't know by knockout. I'm not sure, but plus 800 was already like, okay, that's, you know, that's a big underdog. And Joshua was like minus 1,500, but now Joshua's at minus 1,250 and Jake's at plus 650. This line is closing, and I'm wondering why. What are people seeing?
Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance of drinking this Celsius.
Okay, there we go. Ads only. Yeah, I mean, having balls is good when it comes to making a fight like this, when it comes to, you know, putting yourself out there and again, just operating on self-belief, but it isn't going to win Jake this fight. Him being ballsy is not going to win him this fight. Like, him making the decision to take this fight is ballsy. And we can all say it, and we have said it, and I feel like it's starting to become a thing where it's like, that's the only thing we're saying. I feel like everybody is just pointing out that Jake has big balls for doing this, and that's a ballsy move. And that's correct, but we established that already. So now let's talk about the fight itself. What about Jake's ballsiness is going to win him this fight? The fact that he wants to throw, the fact that he'll mix it up, that may be the worst thing that Jake could do is mix it up with Anthony Joshua, because again, you get into 50-50s with a guy that can crack like he can, 90% finish rate. He'll put you on the canvas. He's done it to so many other heavyweights. And yes, AJ sometimes is the one that gets clipped in exchanges like that, with the left hook especially, but we'll do a more